The Starr and D'Amico Show brought to you by cheapesttshirts.ca. Need blanks for your next event or club? Check out cheapesttshirts.ca. No minimum order, free shipping over $350. Same day shipping on lots of items. Affordable, Canadian, ready to print your design. Brought to you by Catherine Prince at Remax Platine, your Montreal real estate connection. Call her at 514-702-2474 or email Catherine with a K, Catherine at catherineprince.com. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest with confidence, Catherine Prince, your key to the city's property market. Brought to you by McLean's Pub. Looking for a lively downtown spot with great food and atmosphere? Come to McLean's Pub on Peel Street. Classic pub eats, plenty of beer, and all the sports on all the screens. Grab your friends and make McLean's your go-to place tonight. Brought to you by Cabletel, your full-service telecom partner for business and home. From structured cabling and phone systems to Wi-Fi, cameras, and alarms, Cabletel keeps you connected, secure, and performing at your best. Your partner for the future. It's Cabletel. Is the solution at the 2C in the pipeline already? There's Marco D'Amico. I'm Shaun Starr. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Thanks for supporting our sponsors, including Chuck and Evie and their family staff over at Little Bear, littlebearonline.com on St. Catherine across from Westmount Square. The November Black Friday extravaganza is ongoing. You can find specials and unbeatable deals from the best brands from around the world online at littlebearonline.com, or go check out their expertise in person on St. Catherine Street across from Westmount Square, Marco.
And then we also have Canuck jackets that are undergoing their Black Friday sales as well up until December 1st. 40% off of jackets, warmest jackets I've ever worn. Don't believe me? They have a cold room in their newly renovated store on Rachel in the Plateau that you can go and try these out for. 40% off some of the best quality jackets in Montreal. Canuck. I invite you all to go check them out.
I like talking about the Montreal Canadiens prospects quite a bit, and Alexander Zharovsky's front of mind. I mean, this young man is producing. He's got 17 points, 7 goals in 21 games, Marco, and on the weekend, also playing shorthanded minutes, helping break up plays, setting up shorthanded goals. Let's talk about the Habs 2C pipeline. We'll get into Michael Hage and the Michigan program and what's going on there, but this is a pleasant development for the 18-year-old in the KHL. He's having such a strong season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to start off this point with a negative, but you always have to take things into consideration. He does play in the weaker conference. In the KHL, this isn't like the NHL. Money wins. UFA is like close to broke at this point. A lot of players left. They don't have enough centers right now. That's why he is playing at center.
Yep.
The Western Conference is where the money's at. Moscow, St. Petersburg. That's where all the money's at. So you look at those teams, those are the richer teams, all the rubles indeed. And so they have all the former NHLers, this and that. The Eastern Conference, not very much known for its depth. So it's a perfect environment, my 2 cents, for a player like Zharovsky to develop and get his minutes and be tried in different situations. Yes. But I just temper the expectations when it comes to his offensive production, because we've seen this before. And then, they come over and it's not what it's not what it is. What I've enjoyed is how he's been learning, because Coach Kozlov, we've had a couple of chances to talk to him at RG Media, a couple of interviews so far, but he's trying to challenge him. He's trying to push him in ways where he's going to be able to take his game up notches, and putting him at center. I don't think, I'm telling you right now, if I'm wrong, I'm buying everybody around. This is not an NHL center in the making. I apologize. Although he is playing center in the KHL,
right?
He is a winger in the way that he goes about it. But the fact that they're using him at center, I enjoy, because it's teaching him fundamental skills that will be relevant for the moment he makes the jump to the NHL. Because never would, well, I wouldn't say never. That's a bad word, but shocking would I have been at the beginning of the season had you told me he would have been playing regular shifts on the penalty kill for UFA.
Well, that to me is so surprising, is that, and like I love the fact that he's 18. I like the way you kind of break it down, the East versus West, who has the rubles, who's lacking rubles.
Who has the rubles?
Who's got the rubles, bro? Put it on a t-shirt. But I like adversity how are you going to deal with adversity and a challenge? Like if you're talking about and projecting, you would be shocked if he plays center at the NHL level on a regular basis, but he's
Yeah,
doing it now as an 18-year-old. It's like, listen, young man, we need you to play this role. What are you going to do about it?
exactly.
And he's tackled it and he's producing, which to me speaks volumes about the kid's character at 18 years old, playing in a man's league, doing what he's doing.
Yeah, but we have to understand that as a center,
Yeah.
a grand majority of those points have been coming on special teams, not at even strength, right? So
No, that's
that's
fine.
what
Okay. Yeah.
that's what you have to like sway the difference. And he
It's
doesn't
like a
play.
Slavkovsky, maybe. Yeah.
No, because Slav
But it's Slav had like
even.
3 5-on-5 points Slav this year, I think. Whatever the number is, it's not great. But anyways, yeah.
I mean, it's been more 5-on-5 of late, and I think that's the key, right? And so when you
Yeah.
look at Zharovsky, I think he's going to be a weapon on the power play.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to see was more attention to detail defensively, his stick positioning, his footwork, being able to properly position yourself to the play, not
Mhm.
giving up on the play. We saw that PK goal, that PK assist this weekend. You know, charges a guy, uses his stick to pull the puck away from him, takes it, goes back the other way, sets up his teammate. No questions asked. That's a shorthanded goal. Details, little details that I think will make the transition to the NHL smoother. Now, just so we know, Zharovsky's contract with UFA runs until June 2027. I think the earliest you'll see him is probably April 2027. The
Right.
Canadiens, at this stage, the Canadiens, to put him in a crowded Laval roster for next season, I don't know that it makes sense. In UFA, if he stays in UFA or if another higher paying KHL team buys his contract, trades for his contract, whatever,
Yeah.
he has prime minutes, prime opportunity, prime development time. The Canadiens are more than comfortable leaving him there because there is no politics being played in this situation like there was with Ivan Demidov. So
Mhm.
it's a different situation, but it's encouraging because it's forcing him to redefine his style as a player, not just being that uber talented one-on-one puck handler, but being more than that. And I think that's what's encouraging, even though it is not likely at all that he plays center at the NHL level.
On the other side of the continent, let's talk about
Well,
Michigan
on the
and
other side of the ocean.
exactly. Yeah, precisely. Geography, right? Um, Michael Hage in a big rivalry game with the Ohio State University, scoring his ninth goal of the
Buckeyes.
yes, sir. Scored his ninth goal of the year. Jakob Dobesh's alma mater.
Yep.
Let's talk about how Michael Hage's season on a very very strong Wolverines program again with his ninth goal of the year. And you outlined it in an earlier episode about where they're at and, playing on the wing. Will he represent Canada on the wing and his future at center? Question mark. Where are we today with all of those things around Michael Hage?
Well, I think it's I think it's pretty much a done deal that Michael Hage is going to be part of the selection process with Team Canada. I think he's going to be very effective for them in being able to do what they need him to do. He could play offensively, could play defensively, but again, it's just I think my issue with Michael Hage is he could very well become a center.
Right.
I enjoyed him. I think that he's really fun. But again, you go and look at his goal on Saturday night. Where
Yeah.
was he? Far side of the far left side, and then he kind of cuts in to take the shot. But as a center, you want him to be going down the middle, right?
Right.
And this
Right.
this isn't a critique from me. His head coach, Brandon Naurato, we had this conversation with him, and this is what they're trying to work on with Michael Hage to be a little bit more consistent as a center, because they did try him as a winger for about 2 weekends. Now he's back at center. And one of the things that really kind of stood out to me is his game in transition. I mean, like it's so people were freaking out about like Uri Slavkovsky on Saturday night skating the puck up the ice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael Hage would make that look like a practice shift. That's
Hey
how
now.
good he is. With no disrespect to Uri Slavkovsky, just
Yeah.
that's how good Michael Hage's skating has become. And Michael Hage has this ability where he can skate the puck with possession, right? At top speed without breaking any stride as he tries to figure out and scan and see what the next play is going to be. It's an
Mm-hmm.
elite NHL quality that top six players have. And if they do have that, very rarely do they fail in an offensive role. So I am very high on Michael Hage. It's simply just a question of center or winger.
So then to answer the question that we opened this segment with,
I think he could
the
still be
Habs
the 2 seed.
solution at C is still not
I think
clearly
I think
answered.
there's I think there's a possibility that, like, look, I'm never going to say no to someone, right? We all
Right.
remember when Nick Suzuki was a junior, he was playing center, but everybody had a foregone conclusion that Kotkaniemi, Ryan Paling,
Yeah.
this is all
Yeah.
trauma for Canadians fans here. We're going to be the centers, and then Suzuki was going to be the odd man out, being like the second line right winger.
Yeah.
Well, whoops. And so
Yeah.
that's why I never say never when it's a player that's actually been playing center his entire career, unlike Zharovsky, who's been mostly a winger his career.
Yeah.
With Michael Hage, it's tweaks in his game that could make him a legitimate center. That's the difference. That's what makes it where I think there's work to be done, because he has been a better center this year than last. He got stronger. He's physically more imposing, more involved in board battles. The only thing is, and this is more of like a strategy habits. We talk about habits a lot. It's more
Yeah.
of a habit thing. He is like, as he enters the zone with possession, it's almost habitual that he just like moves to the perimeter, does the long turn to come in, either to make the play or to take advantage of a pass, as opposed to driving straight up the middle fearlessly and wreaking havoc and being that kind of presence. Defensively, he's been getting good at it. At the face-off circle, you know, still not 100%, but is getting better in the face-off circle as it kind of progresses. It's difficult to quantify, because sometimes they play, like Ohio State is a more mature roster, and
Right.
he was 4 for 3, 4 for 7, I guess is the word.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was over 50%, but again, it's only 7 faceoffs, but it's always a little bit difficult from an offensive perspective, though. And I think this is key. I spoke to Will Horkoff, his
Mm.
teammate, the first round pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins, one of them, one of three, in last year's draft or this year's draft. And he couldn't have enough compliments for how Michael Hage makes it easy for him to play on the ice.
You love
Just
hearing that.
finds him, covers for him defensively. They live together, so there's a lot of chemistry there. And it was more like the growth, because Will Horkoff joined the Michigan Wolverines. I might get like thrown tomatoes at by Michigan fans, but Will Horkoff joined halfway through last year. So it's been about a year that they've been playing together, and those two have been like this on the ice.
Mm.
And when you see them play, they find each other really well. And Will Horkoff was saying, he's like, it's incredible how he could find you. He has that vision where he could just find you. And what you're seeing now that's a little bit different from last year is he's not simply just doing it on the rush. He's making good defensive plays and then taking advantage of the open ice in front of him with a little bit more regularity. That is the sign of a growing center. So between the two players that you mentioned, could there be a solution for 2C down the line? I think so. I think the Canadians believe so. Is there a risk that neither of them become centers at the NHL? Yes, there
Yeah,
is
it's
a
possible.
very real risk that neither of
Mhm.
them become centers at the NHL. But I think the best outcome, though, is if you still get two top six wingers out of them, those picks
Well,
were
it's
well worth their price in
hey,
gold. So I don't
you
think anybody's complaining. I think Team Canada is very happy with the way Michael Hage has been developing. And I think the Montreal Canadiens are very happy with what they're seeing with Michael Hage offensively, defensively, and in transition. Now it's about honing the position of center,
Mhm.
which is a very difficult position to play. And then I think they'll be able to make a more educated projection on where he goes.
I'm excited for the possibility of a Hage Zarovsky kind of tandem in the future. In the future.
Oh,
Thanks for
I think
liking.
I think the real moneymaker would be Demidov and Hage, and seeing
Ah,
how that would
ah,
work.
listen, I don't want to get too carried on. I get too crazy here. Too crazy. There's Marco D'Amico. Follow him at MN D'Amico. Read all the latest at rg.org. Don't forget, we've got live shows all week long, and of course, every Sunday at 10 a.m. Like and subscribe. The road to 20,000 subscribers begins with each and every single one of you. So thank you for your ongoing support. Marco, thanks as always, brother.
Always a pleasure, guys.